Sony released a firmware update for the Alpha 1, Fuji announced the XF 18mm f1.4, and OM Digital gave another revealing interview. Is full frame really off the table? Are they going full speed into computational photography? This and more after the intro. Thanks for tuning in to The Ordinary Filmmaker. Subscribe to get notification of new videos like this one so you don't miss any news, rumors, gear reviews, or tutorials. And a big thanks to Atomos for sponsoring The Ordinary Filmmaker. I'm using the Ninja 5 external recorder for all my studio work, as it really does save me an awful lot of time in post. So if you want to speed up your projects in post, consider using my links down below to purchase your own Ninja. It also helps support the channel. And now, for the news. I'm going to declare April International Firmware Update Month. We got 2 firmware updates for the Canon R6, 2 firmware updates for the Canon R5, and we just got an update for Sony's flagship, the Sony Alpha 1. Firmware 1.01 fixes an issue where the picture profile may be applied even though the picture profile feature is set to off. And it improves operational stability of the camera when using Imaging Edge Desktop or Imaging Edge Mobile. Okay, this isn't a groundbreaking update, I get that, and we could tell that by the firmware number. No 8K RAW mode was added, and they didn't remove the 30-minute record limit. What? Sorry? The Sony Alpha 1 never had a 30-minute record limit. All right, thank you. Seriously, the A7S III didn't have a 30-minute record limit either? I know what you're thinking. I knew that the Sony Alpha 1 didn't have a 30-minute record limit, that I'm just using this as a dig at Canon for still having the 30-minute record limit in their cameras. And you're right. Come on, Canon. Sony got rid of the 30-minute record limit. Why are you being so stubborn? Are you concerned that people will stop buying your cinema cameras if you remove it? That's just silly. This one feature won't stop people from buying your well-built and well-designed cinema cameras. Now, if you go ahead and provide internal ND filters, SD out, XLR inputs, a dual gain sensor, 16 stops of dynamic range, all-day recording, and an autofocus system that locks onto the subject and keeps locked onto it even when it passes behind obstructions. Oh, and you also happen to make it broadcast ready? Only then will people walk away from your cinema cameras because, well, your hybrid cameras would become your cinema cameras. Sony didn't stop selling their cinema cameras overnight when they removed that dreaded 30-minute record limit. Canon, it's beginning to look a little silly now. Make the change and your customers will love you for it. You might even pick up a few extra customers. DP Review interviewed OM Digital's CEO, Aki Murata. It seems like OM Digital's giving out interviews more often than Canon's releasing firmware updates. I'm not going to cover the entire interview, just the salient points. Murata-san said, I can confirm that there will be an exciting product announcement in 2021. And this is good as previous interviews hinted that the WOW announcement might get pushed into 2022. Focus will continue to be on Micro Four Thirds and on mid to high-end products. Now that's an interesting statement. Focus will continue to be on Micro Four Thirds, but not strictly on Micro Four Thirds. It's the second part of that sentence that has me intrigued. Focus will be on mid to high-end products. I do believe the door to full frame is left open, albeit just a little bit. I mean, it has to be, right? The whole market's moving to full frame. What could possibly stop a company from wanting to move to full frame? Now, if this WOW camera does have a full frame sensor, well, it's certainly going to surprise and most likely wow the market. We're more flexible now compared to when we were a part of Olympus. Throwing the old boss under the bus, I see. More flexible is good, but what does this mean in terms of end results? We simply don't know. Right now, it's a lot of talk, and I mean, literally, OM Digital is communicating much more than when they were under Olympus, and that's a good thing, and they've certainly got me excited. The size of 4/3 sensors offers the possibility of fast readout speeds, which makes this format ideal for computational imaging. Let that one sink in for a minute. Not the part about fast readout speeds, but the part about computational imaging. Will OM Digital take the thunder from Alice Camera and be the first to release a camera with iPhone-like camera or photo and video capabilities? The only thing stopping the iPhone from being a truly remarkable camera is the sensor size and lens quality. Take the photo and video capabilities out of the iPhone and put them inside a mirrorless camera, and if the price is right, OM Digital will have a hit and be transformed like a phoenix rising from the ashes. No camera manufacturer has managed to adopt computational power in their cameras. Do this with Micro Four Thirds, and the smaller sensor size won't ever be seen as a drawback ever again. I think this is the best place to stop. I don't know what OM Digital is cooking inside their design studios, but I definitely like the smell. We can't be too far away from an announcement, as it's already April. Let me know what you think of OM Digital, what they've communicated, and what they've got in store. Have they captured your imagination? Subscribe so you don't miss any more news. Fujifilm announced the XF 18mm f1.4R lens. The XF 18mm is very good for storytelling, it's nice and wide, and it's very fast at f1.4. Fuji made the lens for both photographers and filmmakers alike. I like that it's small and light, but we don't know the cost because, well, they haven't told us yet. Do you have a Fuji camera? Does this lens interest you? It certainly piqued my interest. And now, let's briefly go behind the scenes. I know that you understand that the amount of effort I put into this channel is a lot and that it's time consuming. But what you might not be aware of is how much of a benefit it is you providing me with comments, engaging, submitting items for news. Simon, did you see this news item on blah, blah, blah? Or did you pick up on this rumor? Or even give me tips on how to improve my studio, my channel. They've made a huge difference over the years. I don't get as many tips on my channel yet, but I got a lot at the very beginning talking about audio, lighting, set design. Just go back and seriously, here's my challenge. It's a rainy day here. Here's my challenge. Go ahead and watch one video from the beginning of each month all the way up till now and notice the huge difference I've made. And a lot of that is because of what I want to do, but it's also with the guidance of the tips that you provided me. But also when it comes to news and rumors that I report on this channel, I do check news on a regular basis. I have RSS feeds where I'm constantly being told of stuff, but sometimes these RSS feeds don't always come in till about a day later. And sometimes I do miss news. I don't get it right away. Sometimes I can miss it by 4 to 8 hours. But what I do appreciate too is you'll often send me, hey Simon, did you catch this news? And quite often when I see those messages, I'm either editing and uploading or I'm getting ready to film, and I do appreciate it. Keep them coming because, as I just said in yesterday's video, I missed the announcement of the Canon R3, the development announcement for the Canon R3 by what? About 4 or 5 hours, and that made a huge difference. So this is just a way of saying how much I appreciate your feedback, your engagement, because it really does help shape this channel. I mean, just go back and look at those first early videos. I think it was in my first month, I had reached out to Peter Gregg. I did a consulting with him, and he really helped me with lighting and audio. But you guys have really, really helped me with a lot of that too. You know, the idea of a desk, you know, telling me I should probably put a bookshelf or something in. And I did want to update my set much earlier last year than I did. But, you know, I got there. And, you know, this desk here, the one under this, I guess, blanket. It's actually a blanket here. It's a felt blanket. It's old. It used to be in our foyers we came into the house, and I didn't want to spend a lot more money on the channel because I wasn't making any back then. And my wife wondered where it was. She didn't figure it out until a few weeks later. And of course, here it was down here, and it stays here to this day. We have yet to replace that table because, well, you know, I don't want to take too much stuff for the channel because it adds to the cost, and you know, I want to save that for camera gear. And of course, the bookshelf behind me, that was something I picked up in the third quarter of last year. And it looked pretty good. You guys said, well, shift it off to the side. I don't like it centered. It doesn't look right. And I knew something was missing. I knew I needed some set lighting. I'd watched, what was it, Matty? I think his name is Matty Hapouge or something like that. And he's actually just about 10 minutes from here, his studio. And I saw him use these little LED lights. And I thought, wow, that makes a difference. So I reached out to Ulanzi, or actually Ulanzi reached out to me, and I said, you know, I'd love to get some lights because I could actually use with about 4 of them. And they sent me 4 of them, and you can see it. They add the color to the set there. And if I was to turn those off, it really tones things down. So this gives the background just enough light. It helps separate me from the background, and I think it just provides a pretty decent set design. Now, obviously, if the channel keeps getting better and better, then I'll look at changing my set even further. But thanks so much. I really do appreciate you tuning into The Ordinary Filmmaker. I really do appreciate you engaging and reaching out to me. I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And if you aren't a subscriber, please do subscribe, because believe it or not, it really does help a channel grow. I don't completely understand how it works, but for example, when vendors start to see the number of subscribers tick up, well, they get more interested. Even though, I'll be honest with you, when it comes to earnings, it has absolutely no impact on earnings. Here's something that I did about 3 weeks ago. I stopped mentioning the Canon EOS R5 giveaway in the intro. Then I just a few days ago removed it from the outro. I haven't stopped the contest. I'm still doing it. There's still a link in the description down below. The reason why is I want to actually see the impact of that announcement, that giveaway, on the subscription, how many subscribers I get. And I also want to test out other ways of driving subscriber growth. And what I realized is that despite some people saying it doesn't work, the level of subscribers that I've gotten has dropped by two-thirds. So I'm a third of where I was before. I was usually getting anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 subscribers a month, and I'm now down to about 360. So I might bring them back. I don't really know, because I don't really care. I'm not too concerned about the subscriber count. It doesn't matter a whole lot to me. And as far as my earnings go, well, they're double to triple what they were this time last year. But now granted, this time last year I was at $100, $200, and $400 for January, February, and March alike. Now for this month, I don't think they're going to be quite double, but they're definitely up year over year. And I think that's because of all the subscribers I have picked up. I've got more people that watch the channel on a regular basis. So subscriber count doesn't mean a whole lot, but it does help when it comes to vendors. Oh, you've got 30,000 subscribers. Oh, you've got 100,000 subscribers. Oh, well, let's talk to this guy. But in actual viewers, in terms of actual income, it really has no bearing. And in terms of viewers, what really makes a difference is actually the subject matters, the time of year. We're in the camera season right now. So if you plug the right stories like the R3 and you get it at the right time, your viewers are going to be through the roof. So yeah, I'm constantly tweaking the channel. I'm constantly tweaking how I present things. I got a little tired of mentioning the R5 all the time. It seemed like a great idea last year when I announced it, and you know, video after video, getting tired of saying it. You know, I decided not to say it. Doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. It's still there. It's still in the description. I'm not going to stop with the R5 giveaway. And probably when we get a few more subscribers, when we get closer to maybe 70,000 or so, I'll start mentioning it again. But for now, yeah, I'm changing things up a little bit. But anyhow, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe for your chance. And you also get a chance to win 2 Angelbird 128GB AV Pro MK2 B90 SD cards, along with an Angelbird dual UHS-2 SD card reader. Or you could also win a Ulanzi LED light package with an accent light, underwater light, and various flat panel lights that you can use for lighting your subject, or as a great starter kit for someone starting their own channel. And if you do want to help support this channel, and the fact that you've made it this far into the video, you probably do, please use my affiliate links to B&H and Amazon whenever you're looking at buying camera equipment. Here's a neat thing about this. When you do use these links and you go to Amazon and B&H, they're not going to bump up the price a little bit. You can go ahead and test this out. Go to B&H, check something out, then use my links and check out the same item, and you'll notice the price doesn't increase. But here's what happens. I get a 2% cut, and that really does help the channel grow. And one other thing, you might also want to consider buying an Ordinary Filmmaker baseball cap. They're $34.99, and you can purchase them at ordinaryfilmmaker.com. Thanks so much for watching The Ordinary Filmmaker. We'll see you again soon.